7 things you need to check before filing your tax returns. Welcome to Tax Tips. I'm Keith. Number 1, make sure that the name that you use on your tax forms match the name on your Social Security card. 2 examples of this would be if you use your middle initial on your Social Security card, make sure that you use your middle initial on your tax forms. Another example would be if you were recently married and on your Social Security card you still have your maiden name, use your maiden name on the tax form. What will happen is we'll e-file your tax return to the IRS, and the IRS will reject that if these don't match. And if you're due a refund, you're going to wait longer for that refund. Number 2, make sure that the name and Social Security match on a 1098 form from a mortgage company, for example, or a 1099 for any income that you had working for a vendor, for example, or working for somebody else that issued that 1099 to the IRS. Because the IRS will go over these numbers, and if you paid mortgage interest for the 1098 for the bank, you want credit for that. So just make sure that this information is also correct. Number 3, on the bottom of the first page of your 1040, make sure that you understand those numbers. If you don't understand those numbers, go over them with your tax professional. In this area, for example, would be where if you contributed to your IRA, you want to make sure that that number is correct, the amount that you paid throughout the year. If you're self-employed, money that you paid into the healthcare plan, your healthcare plan, make sure that that number is the amount that you actually paid. Lastly, in this section would be if you paid alimony to an ex-spouse, make sure that the amount and the ex-spouse's Social Security number are next to it are correct. Because what happens here is this information is sent to the IRS. The IRS will cross-reference the amount and the Social Security number, and they need to match. If not, you'll get a letter in the future, near future, from the IRS asking to explain that. Number 4, deductions. If you're 65 or older and or blind, make sure that you have the appropriate boxes checked, because over 65 you will get an addition to your standard deduction, and if you're blind, you will also get an extra amount added to your standard deduction. If you use the Schedule A, which is your itemized deduction, make sure that all of those numbers are correct as well. It's easy to make a mistake in this area, so just spend a little extra time with your tax professional to make sure everything's correct and it goes smoothly through e-file system. Okay, number 5, credits. These are refundable credits. We have the additional child tax credits, the EIC credit, which is the Earned Income Credit, and the American Opportunity Credit for education is 40% of it is a refundable credit here. This is an area of abuse in the past, so the IRS is looking in this area to make sure that this information is correct. Specifically on the Earned Income Credit, it's the tax professional's responsibility to do additional due diligence. So make sure that these numbers are correct. Anything in this area you do not understand, take the extra time to go over with your tax professional and make sure you understand it. Number 6, withholding. This area specifically we're talking about if during the year you had 2 employers and you paid over a certain amount of money, additional excess Social Security, you get a credit back for this amount that was overpaid. So you want to make sure that if you're a higher earned income individual, that you do not overpay Social Security and get no credit for it. Not all computer programs understand this to the extent that it doesn't need some human intervention. So, lastly, refunds. Very important area. Make sure that you triple check the routing number and account number that you put into the software. This is highly important because If you had the wrong information in there, the IRS sends you a refund check and it goes to the wrong individual, you go to the IRS is, they're not going to be able to do anything for you. What you're going to have to do is sue the person that actually took that refund that you were entitled to, unless they give it to you, of course. But this is an area that if you just triple check to make sure the routing number and account number is correct, you won't have any of those issues. This is 7 tips to do before filing your tax return, and I really want to thank you for watching my video, and please support your local businesses in your area. Thank you, and have a great day.